Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Ned Reynolds, Mikey Intern. It is a Red Friday that is unlike no other. Chiefs have to win this weekend against the Colts if they want any chance of even being on the radar for action in January. But going into this weekend, looks like Daniel Jones is on the IL. Is that true?
No. He's injured, but he's not on the IL. This is Danny Dimes, and they need Daniel Jones in there. He's probably going to play. I think he's listed as probable. It's a calf injury that he has, and, it's an injury nonetheless. If they have to put him in there, it'd be Riley Leonard, who comes in as a backup, and Leonard is not bad. Heck, he played at Wake Forest and then Notre Dame and had some pretty doggone good teams at Notre Dame. A good passer. But it doesn't beat Daniel Jones, the Duke kid who's in there. Anyway, we'll find out. It's a calf injury that he has. I don't think they've listed him yet as where he'll be. I think he's probably going to get the start.
Well, either way, Chiefs by 50. Go Chiefs. All right. Speaking of that, we were having a discussion recently about how we're at that point now, especially with the Chiefs and where they are at their record, where it's not only you have to win out, you're also going to need some help in any which way you can get it. And last night, my friend, it looks like the Texans helped us a little bit, didn't they?
Well, except the Chiefs have to play the Texans.
Yes, and I think we can handle them, but we'll see. I don't know. They beat Buffalo last night, and their D looked really good last night.
Their defense is one of the best in the National Football League, and to say they looked good last night would be the understatement, because they sacked Josh Allen 8 times. 8 times Allen went down. He was running for his life, almost like Mahomes did in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Allen couldn't get anything going. 8 times for 70 yards and losses. Now, that's going to take you out of your rhythm. Nonetheless, I thought that Buffalo had it pulled out of the fire when they recreated the old hook and ladder play and made it work. Took it down to the 20-yard line, but they could not get the ball in the end zone. They had to. They were behind by 4. The field goal didn't do them any good at all. So 23-19 is the final. The Buffalo Bills win. The Houston Texans win it. And Houston has a good football team. And yes, they are on the Kansas City Chiefs schedule at Arrowhead coming up in a couple of weeks.
And even though, of course, at least, or in my personal opinion, you should be rooting for them in that situation, they're still in the hunt just like the Bills are. So now we got to take care of business against them. But before any of that, we got to take care of business against the Colts on Sunday. Weather's looking pretty good so far.
Weather won't be a factor at all. The thermometer will be in the low 60s, maybe high 50s. That's just perfect. No rain, and this is perfect weather. Mahomes should have a big day. I think Kansas City pulls this one out. Indianapolis has a good ball club, and they run the ball very well with Jonathan Taylor and the other running backs who DeAndre Smith has been able to culture as their running backs coach. But standing up to a good team like the Chiefs, Indianapolis has not played a really demanding schedule as such, and they're in the lead in their division. But the fact is that Kansas City is playing well. I know they've lost a couple of games, I know that, but this is still a very good team, and I think they make the playoffs probably as a wild card. And I also think they beat the Colts on Sunday probably by about, I'm going to guess, 10, 11, 12 points. I think they pull away from them in the end.
We'll see. Again, it's those little things. It's the disciplinary things. And if they can take care of business in that regard, I think we'll have no problems. And let's hope for a really nice, easy game on a really nice Sunday afternoon. Rare football game in Kansas City. It's Friday, a big Red Friday, and not just for the Kansas City Chiefs, but also for the Missouri State Bears and Tigers, who got pretty big games this weekend.
They do. They're both on the road, and so is Arkansas, for that matter. All three are dogs in this game. I don't think I remember a weekend when all three have been dogs like this, but they are. Missouri State's a 6.5-point underdog to Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State is located about 25 or 30 miles north of Atlanta, and it's a very big school. They have an enrollment of 50,000 or something like that. And their football team's pretty good. In Kennesaw State, they're big, they're fast, they have been beaten, they're coming off a loss. And Missouri State's having a magic year, but still Kennesaw State rates as a 6.5-point favorite. Mizzou is a 7-point underdog at Oklahoma. Well, I take disagreement with that one. I would take the points in this one and go with Mizzou, and Mizzou may come away with a win. Oklahoma's vulnerable. Yeah, I know they went to Alabama and beat Alabama last weekend, but still, this is a good Missouri team that can play the football game. We'll find out. And you have Arkansas going to Texas. That'll be a tough assignment for the Razorbacks, playing the Longhorns down there in Austin. And it is what it is. We'll play the football games. That's what happens.
You know, every time I'm watching the Blues play this year, or listening to them on our sister station, 102.1 The One, as the game goes on, I just get that sinking feeling like, here we go again. We're headed to OT. Man, those guys have gone to OT a lot this year and not come back with the dub after going to OT.
Well, they were ahead 2-0 last night against the Philadelphia Flyers in Philly. You might remember that Philly beat the Blues in St. Louis last week at this time in overtime after trailing. Let's see, the Blues were ahead in that game, something like 3-0 over Philadelphia, and Philadelphia came back to win it 6-5 in overtime. Well, last night, Philadelphia comes from a 2-0 deficit and beats the St. Louis Blues 3-2 in overtime. The silver lining, if you can call it that, is that when games go to overtime, the losing team gets a point. I think this is part of the NHL's plan to have all teams in the playoffs, because the Blues do now have 18 points. Now the leader in the division, the Avalanche, have 31. But still, one loss in overtime counts as 1 point. Of course, a win counts as 2 no matter what you do. So the Flyers get 2 points out of it. But the St. Louis Blues do lose. Now they have, I believe it's 3 or 4 more games in the New York City area, the Rangers and the New York Islanders, and I believe they have the Penguins on there too. So it's a lengthy road trip for the Blues. But yeah, they do continue to lose. Unlike you, I listened at 102.1 The One. I have... The announcers are great. Mm-hmm. They know exactly what's going on, although I would prefer the Kelly kid to be in there calling the shots, but that's over and above that. It's still tough to envision hockey when you're listening to it on the radio. Now, football, baseball, yes, you can form your own understanding, but because the game is so fast, you have to see it in person. And even TV doesn't do it any good at all.
It's a tough game, and it also shows you how tough it is to play, especially if you've ever played hockey, how fast and quick you have to be on literally every level.
And how big those hockey players are. These are large human beings who are out there.
Those are some big dudes. Speaking of big dudes, as if you needed anything else to watch yesterday, there was also some college basketball.
A lot of college basketball last night, and yesterday morning, the Drury Lady Panthers played a morning game. It's their game for the kids. The kids come in from school. It's a little holiday treat. Played Texas A&M International. Now get this. This is an anomaly that you will not see very often. Drury wins the game 81-68. Now think about that. 81-68, and it was in double overtime. Double overtime, and the game was that big a rout? Yes, it was. Game was tied at the end of regulation, tied at the end of the first overtime, 5-5. And then in the second overtime, Drury outscored Texas A&M International 14-1, and they get the win 81-68 in double overtime. So the Lady Panthers, a big win for them. Missouri played South Dakota last night, and the Missouri Tigers, as expected, roared past the Coyotes 102-68. Number 1 team in America, Purdue, playing Memphis, and this is a tournament in the Bahamas. And Purdue came away, pulling away down the stretch to win 80-71 over Memphis. Houston is the number 2 team in the country, and they played Rider. I'm sure that most folks around here are not familiar with Rider. It's in Trenton, New Jersey, and they are a Division I program. But Houston put it to them pretty well last night, 97-45.
Wow.
That's not really close.
No, it's not, especially in college basketball. Ned, you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you soon.